So which one of these photos do you think is real? You have 3 seconds to answer, and the time is up. The answer is none. Both of them are AI generated. Quite scary, isn't it? With Midjourney V6 launching, things are getting real. Quite literally, and a bit dangerous too. We'll discuss that later. But the question is it going to change photography forever? Let us test it with a game. The rules are simple. You and I are going to see a series of images and we have to guess whether they are AI generated or not. For every answer you get right, give yourself 1 point and share your score in the comments. Be honest. Ready? Let's go. Test number 1. We have 2 portraits. Which one of these is AI generated and which one is real? Let us zoom in a little bit to give you more perspective. Both of them are now zoomed in. Can you now tell? This has wonderful skin texture. If you look at the clothes, there is detail here. There is detail there as well. But if you zoom out, have a look. There is a weird finger there, but there is no finger here. So it is hard to judge. And the answer is the image on the left is AI generated and the one on the right is actually real. The creation was interesting. So I created this image in Midjourney using this prompt, but using the real image as a reference. So that is why it is in a similar setting. Since it is created in Midjourney version 5.2, we don't have a lot of details and clearly looks fake. So I uploaded this to Magnific AI, which added more details. Here is the after. There you go. Take a look at the details. It is just amazing. We're going to discuss Magnific later and also look at version 6 images, so wait for it. On top of that, I added different versions of different AI upscaling for different areas. For example, this area was not looking right, so I added a different version there. And the eyes didn't have enough detail. So I painted each strand before, after, see the difference right here, and on top to blend it all out, I added some grain. Test number 2, here's a mock-up kind of image. Can you tell whether it's real or not? If you can read my body language, you probably can. So please don't look at that, but let's zoom in a little bit. Inspect the shadows, texture, and reflection and everything. If we look right here, there is a reflection for this one, but it kind of looks weird, right? And if you look right here, at the same time, we have all the details that we need for it to look real. We also have little dust particles here and there that would be in a real setting. It's giving mixed feelings, so which one do you think it is? Right here, we have a specular highlight, which looks very, very real. But right here, we have this weird lining texture right here as well. If you need to take the time, pause the video, and here is the answer. This, in fact, is an AI generated image. Again, we created this in Midjourney, but if you zoom in, have a look right here. There were labels here, and the image of course was not that detailed. You could tell that this was fake. So I used Magnific again to add more details. Here's the before, and here is the after. Take a look at that. This is amazing. But it added way too much detail right here in the background. So I created one more upscale with lesser details and placed it at the top and just for the background. Then of course, we removed all the labels in Photoshop, and that is why Photoshop is still very, very relevant. And at the end, of course, we added a bit of grain to make it more realistic. Here's the before, here's the after. You see this texture right here before the grain? You could tell that this is kind of AI generated right here. Once you add that grain, it kind of gets hidden away. Test number 3, we have 2 images again. Can you tell me which one is real and which one is AI generated? If you zoom into the image on the left, you will see some dust on the glass, which looks very, very nice. And both of them used Midjourney V6. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. You win a point for it. Both of them are actually AI generated. Let's take a look at the details. The liquid spots on the glass look very, very convincing. There are little spots all over the place and they change according to the lights and shadows. Also, there's a reflection for the sky in the background. And overall, it is very hard to tell that this is AI generated. On the other hand, the image on the right also has a perfectly blurred reflection of the plate right here. There are little dust particles here, there, and it just makes it absolutely realistic. It is impossible for me to figure out which one makes it unreal. I have to thank my super talented AI expert friends Julie and Pratik for submitting these 2 photos. They created this image with Midjourney version 6 and I highly recommend checking out their pages. Look at Julie's page. She has been creating film scenes with AI. Take a look at this, for example. It straight out looks from a movie. This is just amazing. On the other hand, Pratik is a professional portrait photographer and retoucher, and his style is different. For example, to create this image in real life, it would be too heavy on the budget, but with AI, there you go. Test number 4, tell me which one is real and which one is AI generated. If you take a look at them closely, it is hard for an AI to create this level of detail in both the cases. It will somewhere make a mistake. For example, the first place we would look at for this image on the right is the plant right here. Whether the leaves have any discrepancy, is anything merging onto one another? Check that, check out the details. Also, the image on the left has this weird thing right there. Also on the top, the ceiling is a bit broken. It looks very realistic and also happens with interiors like this. So some parts are okay, some parts are not. So What can you say about this? And the answer is, drum roll please, both of them are AI generated. And the image on the left is submitted by Pratik. But how did I figure out the prompt for this one? Again, I did not. Midjourney did. Yes, Midjourney created my prompt. Here's how. So I didn't know what prompt to type, but I wanted to create something like this. For it in Midjourney, I used /describe, right? Upload the photo and let Midjourney describe that image. In other words, give you a prompt. So as you can see, Midjourney gives you a lot of prompts to choose from. Then you can kind of modify that according to what you're looking for and just type that in and create this. And also use that image as a reference. By the way, we used Midjourney version 6 for this one. All right, so I was so confused with this one, I had to use all 4 examples. Welcome to test number 5 and tell me which one of these is actually real. So here's the thing. At first glance, look at it for maybe 1, 2, 3 seconds. And now just tell me, which one do you think is real and which one is fake? Keep your answer in mind. Ready? The image on the top left is actually the only image that is real. Rest all of them, this one, and this one, all of them are fake, except for this one. And here's a weird kind of problem with generative AI. Look at the number of burgers I generated. It just goes on and on and on and on. What happens is, we generate an image, it looks pretty darn good, but then in our mind we go, what if we generate again and it creates an even better result? And then you generate again. And then you think, wow, this looks even better. But what if we can generate even better? And then you keep generating again and again and again and again, and it never ends. So that is one thing that generally keeps me stuck. What about you? Moving on to test number 6. So here's the product, another mockup. Can you tell me whether this is real or AI generated? Let's go full screen and let's zoom in a little bit as well. So take the time, be the judge, look at the leaves, look at the background, look at the overall style and be the judge. Ready for the answer? Let's go. So this image actually is a real photo and I chose it on purpose because this looks like an AI styled image with lots of colors and leaves and everything. So how are you doing so far? Out of the 6 tests, how much have you scored? Let's take a break, pause the video, let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Moving on to test number 7. We have some cute cats and you have to figure out which one of these is AI generated. If you zoom in on the left one, there's a lot of contrast which gives a sense that this may be real. And if you zoom in right here as well, along the fur, it's very detailed and realistic. With the second one as well, looks very cute. I love the pose in here. And there are details on the floor as well. There are these whiskers falling, it's shadows, it is just impeccable. With the third one as well, there's dust here. It's super detailed. So let me know. Take a few seconds and take a guess. Ready for the answer? Actually, only and only this image is real. The rest are AI generated. And by the way, this was submitted by Julie, and this image that you see was created in Midjourney with this one as a reference. Test number 8, Battle of Stock Photos. I think it is fairly easy to tell, but is it really? So which one do you think is AI generated and which one is real? Now do keep in mind, just as the previous examples, both of them can be AI generated or both of them can be real. Ready with your answer? I think this one is a pretty simple one, isn't it? The image on the left is actually an AI generated image and the one on the right is a real photo. So this is the image we created in Midjourney version 6. It was not very detailed, as you can see. And by using Magnific AI, which is very pricey, and by the way, I'm not sponsored by Midjourney, Magnific, anyone right here, we added more details and upscaled it. Before, after. See? Before, after. It added wonderful skin texture, but that was not enough. So we upscaled it again. So we took the image again and we upscaled it one more time. There you go. See? You have way more details on the lips and the skin as well. Before, after. Too much portraits. Time for a landscape showdown with test number 9. Which of these do you think is fake and which one do you think is real? Let's zoom in a little bit to give you a little more context. Can you now tell? Look at the pattern of the land here. Look at the sky right there. Be the judge. With the second one, the clouds are kind of all over the place. It may be unreal. And with the third one as well, the trees look a little unrealistic. So which one do you think is real? Or all of them are AI generated? Ready for the answer? Only the image on the right is AI generated. Rest, both of them are real. And I picked this image on purpose because the style of it looks kind of AI. The shiny parts right here are pretty well done. The water, the pebbles going into the water are pretty well done. And even the trees are pretty well done. I was telling you it was wonky just to confuse you. Even if you zoom in even more, There's a lot of detail. It was created in Midjourney version 6 and upscaled with Magnific. Just as we end an ideal meal with dessert, here's our final test. All you have to tell is whether this is real or AI generated. If you have a look at the surface of the chocolate, it kind of looks too smooth, looks AI-ish. But if you have a look at this drippings right here, it may look a bit realistic, maybe AI. The shadows are kind of off. Overall, I'm having mixed feelings also by looking at the texture where the chocolate is cut, which looks so detailed. Ready for the answer? This, my friend, actually is a real photo. So how much did you score? Share in the comments and also let me know which one was the hardest one for you to figure out. Now there's a major problem with Midjourney which begins to question whether it is stealing. Have a look at this. So while I was generating all of these landscapes and portraits, have a look for one of them. It generated these crisscross pattern. Rings a bell? It is exactly the way it is if we look at something like Shutterstock or any stock photography website where we don't license the image. It's a watermark. I mean, that's crazy. And while I was creating this portrait right here, it generated this watermark again. Now it's a weird text, but it clearly tells you that it was trained on images that it was not allowed to look at. So what do you think of this? Let's talk about it in the comments. So that's all for this video. AI, my friend, is inevitable. Whether we like it or not, it's going to stay and it's going to develop in the future. But what do you think it will do to photography? Let's talk. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Till then, stay tuned and make sure that you keep creating.